Hey guys, welcome to the summer. It has been a while since I've done a vlog. That's because I've been super busy traveling. I was in Houston, I was in Austin, I was in Philadelphia, I was at Summer Spark. So many conferences presenting, sharing out, doing district PD. All of it went super well, but I am excited to get back to doing vlogs here on this channel. And this one is an exciting one. This one is about this year I made sort of buildings in my game, and I really want to show you how they worked because the students loved them. I really liked it. It gave another moment of agency. This is a little bit of a bigger gamified piece that not everyone's going to start doing. So this one's kind of a 2.0, 3.0 stage of your gamified unit or a class. So not all of you are going to need this, but check it out because it gives you some different ideas of where your game could go. So even if you're new, stick around. All right, you guys ready? Let's do this. Guys, this is just my regular bullet board. I have two of these that I have these buildings on, and the buildings were just laminated sheets that have some information on them. This is kind of tip number one. If you're gonna do buildings so that you can kind of remember what all the buildings do, because it gets kind of complicated for you to run all of these buildings, is I put a little bit of what the building does and how it functions right up above. So we have the directions right there, easy for myself and easy for the students to decide which building they want to go into. This is kind of my next piece for you. All right guys, one of the best features and what I loved about these buildings was the agency, right? The choice that it gave each and every student. So each of my buildings has these slots that students can fill up. Now being a middle school teacher, having different sections, I gave a slot per section. Each of my houses has a slot they can go in. And then they take their avatar and they get to select where they want to go. So here's Luke. Luke's part of the house of Ramal. So he's gonna be in that second slot, and he could look over these buildings, he could read what the buildings do and what kind of advantage he wants to have, and then he just takes regular old push pin, boom. He is at the apothecary in this case, and the apothecary earns Luke 1 heart back. Now, next question is, when do these all activate? How do they do all of these things? We'll get to that. Trying to activate all of these buildings would take me forever, and so what I would recommend you do is come up with a system of when these activate, how these activate. So for me, how these activate is I go from top left and down the board, kind of like you'd read a book. And the students know that, and these activate on what I kind of call realm days, or what I might switch to as realm times. This is when the game gets sort of activated. The students use it as a bit of a work time to sort of catch up on their history homework, or reassess things. They could use them to work on quests, but what that does is it frees me up because they have all of those things they can be working on. It frees me up to sort of activate these buildings, pay out side quests. That's my realm times, and I just go through. Super simple because I've color-coded all of the kids in terms of avatars. And I just go to that second slot if it was Ramal's class period, and I just activate all the kids that are in that second slot, pull their guy down, and give it to them. Each of these buildings are unique, and they give kids a sort of a specialty, something that they're excited and look forward to. They don't know when it's going to activate. I might have a few 5 minutes extra at the end of today's class. All right, the last sort of thing we want to cover is what do these buildings do? I'm not going to cover them all as I have a bunch, but what I want to kind of express to you is they all revolve around the mechanics of your game. And in fact, having the buildings themselves can create more mechanics in your game, give more options. So let's take a look. Okay, for those of you that have been following me and my game, you understand that I have something called BP. They're battle points. I use them on review days. They can add to their Jeopardy score. There's lots of different ways I use BP, but typically there's no way you can add BP to an item. A sword has so much BP, a spear has so much BP. Well, now I have the blacksmith shop, and the students put their avatar at the blacksmith shop. And the other thing I do for payment is they have to, it'll say like avatar plus item. They're not spending the item, but that item's no longer in their item case, which means if we do a boss battle or something, they can't say, well, up on the board I have 100 BP item. That's too bad, it's up on the board, it's in the shop, it's getting worked on. So it's not a cost, it's kind of like a temporary cost. They no longer can use that item that's up here. And some of these have hefty costs of, like, it has to be their avatar plus 3 or 4 items that, again, they'll get back, but it's 3 or 4 items that are out of play for now. But going back to this blacksmith shop, they put their guy here, and then it sort of says they can keep their guy here for up to 3 realm days. And then I have a little indicator, realm day 1, realm day 2, realm day 3. So I can just move that along. And what each day does is week 1, they roll a die, 1 die. And if they roll a 1 to 3, they get to add 20 BP to their item. However, if they roll a 6, the item breaks, right? The blacksmith pushed it too far. Then the next week, they roll, and they have to roll a 1 or 2. If they do, they get to put 45 BP. That's not in addition to the 20, it's just they've stayed a little longer and made it now up to 45. And then lastly, week 3, they have to roll a 1, and if they do, they add 200 BP to this particular item. And I'll just manually sort of write that and then sign my name. So they have a custom item, which is kind of cool, and some kids really like that. That is just an example of one of the buildings. We have all sorts of others. I'm gonna share a Google sort of template with you guys to help you guys create all your own and see what you think and see what you hopefully love these buildings and print them off. Kind of a bonus tip here is I made my double-sided because mine's a year-long game, and so what was cool in the beginning of the year isn't so cool now. So actually this blacksmith, let's take it down. Blacksmith double-sided functions the same, but I needed to adjust those amounts. So week 1, being there is only 5 BP, then it's 15 with a max of 50. I'm gonna use that for the first half of the year, but then the second half of the year when 5 BP is kind of meaningless because I'm giving out items that have much more BP, we flip it over, and that way I don't have to like reprint it. It's all set to go. All I have to do is flip it over and use it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you could like and subscribe this video, share it out. Please post a comment down below what you think about these buildings, different ideas, just any sort of questions you have. Love to hear from you guys. And that's all we have for today. Take care.